Hello and welcome to the Black Hat Bushcraft channel. Today I wanted to have a quick discussion about honey. The reason I'm talking about honey is it's an item that I always carry in my bushcraft kit in my backpack. And the reason I carry honey is because in my mind it's a multifunctional ingredient or multifunctional item. Number one, it's a great sweetener. So a lot of times when I'm in camp I'll sip coffee or some type of a tea and I'll always sweeten it with honey. Also, honey is an excellent ingredient in recipes. Like, for instance, a lot of times I'll cook up some bannock when I'm in camp and I'll just drizzle that honey over the bannock and it just adds so much to it and it's really, makes it really delicious. Number three, honey is a medicinal item. So if you're making up, let's say, an infusion or maybe a decoction, sometimes the flavors of those things is kind of nasty. So honey can add a lot to that. Also, honey has the medicinal benefits. One, it has antibacterial properties to it, and two, it's very soothing. For instance, a lot of times when you buy cough drops and things like that at the drugstore, it'll say honey and lemon, and so honey is good to soothe your throat, and it's comforting. So it's a very good item to add when you're making medicines and things like that in your camp. So it has a lot of different functions for me in my kit, so I always keep it. The problem is honey, especially when you use raw, unfiltered, unprocessed honey, which I always carry. I actually get my honey from a guy who's local to me. But when you use that type of honey, a lot of times it'll quickly crystallize. I've seen people take crystallized honey and throw it away and say it's gone bad. But the fact is, honey really doesn't go bad. If you do some research, you can see that the oldest samples of honey that people have found are in ancient Egyptian tombs. When they went in and opened up those tombs, they found containers with honey in it, and the honey was still edible. So that goes to show that the stuff can last for a very, very long time. And so all you have to do is simply just kind of bring it back to its previous state. And it's a very, very simple process. And a lot of times, especially this time of year, my honey will get a little bit too thick or crystallized. This is how I process it. So stick with me and I'll show you that. Just before I put the honey over the fire, I thought I'd show you what it looks like right now. Hopefully you can see down in there. This stuff is literally solid, like sugar. So definitely, you could use it as a sweetener and melt it in your coffee, but to pour it or drizzle it or anything like that, it's definitely not in its best form. Alright, so again, this literally could not be more simple. All I have here is my bush pot and some water. And I'm going to pour a little bit of water into the bush pot here. Just enough to come up about halfway on this bottle of honey. Alright, so I have my honey, water in the bush pot. Set this down in the water. What you don't want to do is boil this. You just want to get it warm enough that it will melt the sugar crystals in the honey. And that's it. So I'm just going to place it over the fire. I'm going to watch it closely. I want to make sure that it does not boil, because if it boils, it won't make your honey taste bad and it won't ruin your honey, except for it will kill off some of the beneficial enzymes and things that are in the honey, which you don't want to do. So warming it up mildly, that's the key. All right, I'm going to get this on the fire here, warming up, and I'll bring you back when it starts to loosen up again. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. I just pulled the honey right out of the pot, and you can start to see this stuff has loosened up a lot. And so I'm just going to stick the spoon in down there, kind of stir it around a little bit. You can see what that's looking like. Much more usable right now than it was. I'm going to put it back in there for probably another 5 minutes or so, and then it's going to be completely loosened up like we would expect honey to be. I'll get the lick spoon. So you can see it's very simple to fix crystallized honey. You should never throw it away, because it's like I showed you, a simple fix to make it good again. And this stuff right here was so good. It's in perfect form now to go into your coffee or your tea, drizzle over some bannock, or just eat with a spoon. Warm honey on a cold day. Just eat it right out of the jar. This buckwheat honey is outstanding Tastes almost like molasses. It's so thick and rich. It's good stuff. So I appreciate you guys coming along for this quick tip on carrying honey and how to get it back to its original state. If you don't carry honey in your pack, definitely something to consider, because as I mentioned, it's a multifunctional item and it will serve you well. Appreciate your interest. I appreciate your support. I look forward to talking to you with another video very soon. And until then, take care. And as always, God bless.